I think the mixing thing is such a different avenue to go down, right? Where it's not like you're a producer or you're a writer, like I'll just like get in with other people. Basically, you work for free a bunch,
Yeah.
right? As a producer and a songwriter.
Totally.
How is that transition to mixing? How did you reach out to your first clients? You know, how did you slowly build that up?
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, I was already producing for a bunch of people. I had a little community of artists that I was producing for.
Right.
So once I committed to mixing, I just reached out to them and I was like, hey, by the way, like I'm just mixing nowadays. Let me know if you need any songs mixed.
Right.
And in my little community of musicians and artists, I was the only mixer, really.
Right.
So right off the get-go, I had a default clientele.
Right.
So like all my homies all have their own artist projects and everything needs to get mixed. So they only know one mixer,
Right.
and that was me. So I was just mixing all the stuff from the get-go.
And what's, you know, what advice would you give someone who's doing that, right? Where it's like, are you working for free and just hoping to get some back end? Are you doing it for, you know, much less than what you're obviously doing it for now? What strategy did you use to help grow that client base?
I think mix as much as you can.
Yeah.
Like mix everything you can. I think the priority is to mix as many records as possible.
Right.
And hone your skills as a mixer rather than try and make income off of mixing. That comes second. So I think the first thing is just like mix everything under the sun.
Right.
Whatever that takes. Mix it for free, great. Mix it after your day job, like from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., do it. Remove as many obstacles from you and mixing the song.
Yeah.
So if that's monetary, get a day job.
Right.
Get another income source. If it's like you don't know any musicians or artists, start going to shows and start making those connections, or move to a place where there are a lot of artists. Just remove everything between you and the mix.
Yeah, that's really incredible advice. I think people rightfully want to just get paid for everything.
Yeah.
But I think it's when you're a beginner mixer, you're obviously going to be mostly working with indie artists with low to almost no budgets.
No budget, dude.
You're not
100%.
I don't know. I would say it's pretty impossible for like someone who's never mixed a record before to start mixing a major label artist. It's just like not going to happen.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
Totally.
And so you need to basically, again, it's just like how producers and songwriters work, where it's like you have to do a lot of stuff for free, again, to hone your skills, to get your name out there. You know, I can't tell you how many times like I found mixers or listening to a new artist and be like, this mix is dope.
Yeah.
And then, you know, doing a little digging and be like, oh, it's this mixer that I've never heard of before.
Yeah.
And then do deeper mixing. And it's like, oh, every record they've done sounds great. Even though maybe like I don't like the music.
Sure.
But they all sound great.
You can separate that.
Yeah. And I think that's really phenomenal advice. Just you have to put yourself out there. And that's the one benefit about mixing, where you're not really working with other people, so you can work around other things.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
Like being a songwriter producer, it's a little bit more difficult. Like when I first came out here, I worked a part-time job, you know, but I had to do a job where I was like, okay, sessions are usually from 12 or 1 to like 6 or 7.
Yep.
And I either have to work late at night or I have to work really early. I chose to work early because I'm a morning person.
Nice.
So I was working from like 6 to like 10 or 11.
Wow.
In the mornings, and then I would like do sessions and then do that whole thing. But yeah, it's like I think it's like sacrifices that people are worried about the optics of it, which always amazes me.
Yeah.
Where it's like I've never had someone like tell me like, yeah, I got a part-time job and been like, ick.
Totally, dude.
I don't get like
totally. The goal is not to do music full time.
Right.
Like so many people are like, how do I do it full time? Like why is that your goal?
Right.
Like the goal is to like make music.
Right.
Like if you don't have enough time to make music, then you need to adjust your schedule or whatever, you know. That's a different life choice, but the goal is to just make good music.
It's also easier to make good music when you're not stressed about money all the time.
So true. So true.
It's like if you're worried that like, oh, like I have to, the second I shifted my ideology of writing and producing from like I got to make a hit every day to like I'm just making music today.
Yeah.
That's when I started doing so much better.
Nice.
You know,
Totally.
And it's because like I went from like working a part-time job to then being able to not work one, but then I needed a part-time job again. I was just like, okay, having a part-time job, I don't have one anymore.
Yeah.
To be left was like a really good thing for me.
Yeah.
Like, be like, okay, I have a little bit